What's going on, Coldwater Nation? It's Geoff, and welcome back to another fly tying tutorial. Today, I'll be showing you how I like to tie a Heron Streamer for our fly tie of the month for the month of August. Originally designed by Nick Lambeau to target New Hampshire landlocked salmon, this simple yet elegant pattern is a fish catching machine on a wide variety of fish from larger trout and salmon to my personal best smallmouth bass. So without any further ado, let's head over to the bench and get started on tying a Heron Streamer.
Yeah.
There he goes.
Oh my god, look at that! Look at that toe!
The squirmy worm is an effective and very deadly fly.
What's up, guys? My name's Brian,
And I'm Geoff.
and you're watching Empire Coldwater. Let's rip some lips.
This video is brought to you in part by Upstate Excursions and by Black Dog Outdoor Sports. Since this is a larger pattern and requires just a bit more length on a hook shank in comparison to some of the other flies I've tied previously, I will start out by getting a size 6 B10S stinger hook and getting that settled into my vise. Then I will take my red 8/0 thread and start my thread wraps just slightly behind the hook eye. After making a few wraps, I'll grab my scissors and snip off the tag end of my thread. Then I will continue to make wraps down the length of the shank, stopping just before the point of the hook on my fly. Now I will add some flash to the body as an attractor by taking a couple inch length of wide pearlescent mylar and tying that in just before the bend of the hook before working my thread back towards the eye of the hook to about where I started my thread wraps. Be sure to keep the wraps close to each other to make an even and smooth body to wrap the mylar onto. After positioning my thread where I want it, I'll begin to take overlapping clockwise wraps of mylar until I reach my thread. Then I will take my thread and wrap back a little bit to secure the mylar wraps in place while also providing an adequate amount of space to tie in my soft hackle feathers later on. Once the mylar is secured, I will snip away the excess before taking more wraps to hide any cut edges as well as even out the subtle taper to the eye of the hook for the head of the fly. Now I will take a long gold mallard flank feather and pull back all the fluff before taking wraps around the feathers so that the longest fibers are about 1.5 to 2 times the length of the exposed mylar. After securing the mallard flank in place, I will take my scissors before snipping off the excess flank feather and then taking additional wraps to cover up the cut edges. Next I will take a soft hackle feather with long fibers and trim off the thicker part of the stem of the feather as well as the webbing before stripping back about 1/4 inch of the fibers from the remaining feather to tie into the shank. Then I will leave my thread either just behind or at the eye of the hook depending on the size of the head I want to make on the fly. Now I will go ahead and make wraps with the soft hackle around the hook shank until I reach my thread before taking a wrap or two to secure those wraps in place. In this example, the fibers are mostly completely vertical or subtly facing forwards. This will lend itself to have more of a larger profile in the water as well as have more movement between strips of the fly line. If you want a slimmer profile, just simply hold the fibers of the soft hackle rearward as you wrap around the shank of the hook. This will make the pattern look more natural and have more subtle movement by comparison in the water. After securing those wraps, I will hold the soft hackle feathers back towards the hook end of the fly before taking wraps of thread towards the back of the fly to help hold the fibers in a rearward facing direction. Then I will snip away the excess feather before taking wraps again to cover up any cut ends before taking more wraps of thread to build up a nice even taper to the head of the fly. With that all done, I will go ahead and take my whip finishing tool and put a 5-turn whip finish on the head of the fly before snipping away my thread. Then I will go back with a little bit of head cement and really ensure a strong connection to increase the durability of the fly. And that's all there is to tying a Heron Streamer. If you enjoyed this fly tying tutorial and you want to see more like this one, leave a like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a new video. That's all for now. Tie lines, everybody.